Good morning, everyone, and welcome to today's Daily Word. Today is Thursday, April 7th. Glad you could join me for our Daily Word this morning. Coming to you, you can see I'm in the fireside room this morning at church. Went to physical therapy early this morning and made it here just a little bit ago. I was at therapy a little bit longer today, trying to work on a couple of things to get better, and so we'll just continue to test that process, I see, and see how it works. So this morning's scripture for this morning, I'm continuing in the Lenten devotional called The Long Haul. And it's interesting, based on yesterday, all this week's kind of thinking about who God is in the season of Lent. And we're very deep in the season of Lent. And we were talking about Lent at therapy this morning. We're talking about giving up things and what does it mean to give up things and certain things we've given up. And it was interesting in our conversation, and those of you who know me well and who watch this and who've heard me, we're having a conversation, and one of my therapists was going on about having given up coffee, not given up coffee, but given up going to special places for coffee, like going through Tim Hortons or Starbucks just to get coffee. And so we were talking about that, and so she said, I want to ask you about this. And so we were talking about it, so she gave this big, long conversation about the coffee thing, and then she said, but, and then she went on with the rest of her story. So I didn't stop her, but I said, so there's a key word in there, and that word is but. And so we had this big, long conversation about what it means, to stick tight to things, what it means to go through things when it's not the easiest in the world. Yesterday at my last infusion, my person who was giving my infusion, he knows I'm a pastor, and so he said, so I want to ask you this, Jim. I was at Bible study last night, and we're talking about this certain thing, and we were so unsure. So I said, I'll just ask my friend Jim tomorrow. And so we had this long discussion too about this thing. And I'm not sure either one of them liked my answer. We come from different faith backgrounds. But I got to thinking about that in light of this text and all the difficulty of where we are in this deep part of the season of Lent that we are in. We're very deep, It's Thursday. We are about to enter Jerusalem and what Palm Sunday means for us. And so the writer of this particular devotional gives us just a couple of verses from Psalm 31. But I'm going to use a few more verses in a minute. But the two verses are this. Psalm 31, 14 and 15. But I trust in you, O Lord. I say, you are my God. My times are in your hand. So Psalm 31 is really, as it's titled in Scripture, a prayer and praise for deliverance from enemies. And it starts like this. In you, O Lord, I seek refuge. Do not let me ever be put to shame. In your righteousness deliver me. Incline your ear to me. Rescue me speedily. Be a rock of refuge for me, a strong fortress to save me. So Psalm 31 is this interesting text that I'm sure Jesus must have known, as the writer says to us of devotional, that he must have understood, and it's this promise that we trust in God that sustained him and even sustains us. So here we are, it's Thursday. On Sunday, we're going to talk about Palm Sunday and the whole meaning behind it, and that Jesus knew exactly what he was riding into Jerusalem. And the Psalm's promise is a sustaining one for Jesus in his life. Jesus endured the death of his dad, Joseph. We don't hear about Joseph again. We know that Joseph died when Jesus was young. We hear Jesus go into the wilderness to be tempted. We hear of all these things of Jesus' life, and he must have known this psalm that sustained him. I got to thinking about this psalm in light of the conversations I've had the last couple of days with folks about Lent and what it means and how we go through it and how it looks for us. But also, in light of just how we live our lives and what life means to us and how difficult life can be. And then this reminder, I trust in you, O Lord, I say, you are my God, my times are in your hands. It's hard for us to look at it like that. I think we think, and I certainly think, that time is in my hands. And we look at the clock, we plan way ahead, we think about days and things that we want to do. We talk about retirement. We talk about all the things that are important to us. I'm awaiting the birth of 2 more grandchildren, and that time gets closer and closer. We sometimes think, I believe, that our times are in our hand. But I think this psalm is a reminder for us, a good reminder, that we are sustained in life because our times, our lives, our circumstances are in God's hands. And we often experience, I think, God's hands through the hands of other people, right? And the hands that hold us and guide us and lead us, the hands that help to sustain us. I think about those in all that I've been going through, how I'm sustained in life and what that means for me. So hopefully we can hold on to that in our lives, that we are sustained by the presence of God. So, thanks for joining me for our time together. Know of God's love that surrounds you. Know of my love for all of you. And I will see you tomorrow at 10 o'clock. Have a great day.